that last up to 2 seconds. The GED-4 ranges from 45 to 90 milliamps for a duration of up to 2 seconds. A milliamp equals 1/1000th of an amp. The average stun gun and taser only use 1 to 3 milliamps. Many say 1 amp of electricity is enough to kill you, and anything over 50 milliamps would be extremely painful and possibly lethal if it contains enough voltage to travel to your heart. The Behavior Research Institute claims the GED puts out a shock that's equivalent in pain to a bee sting, but one former student by the name of Jennifer Masamba says the GED is more painful than the institute claims and felt like someone tearing at her skin. The shocks would also cause her muscles to tense up. When wearing the GED, students have 1 to 5 electrode straps placed on their legs, arms, or torso that are connected to a backpack or fanny pack that the student must carry with them throughout the day. Students may have multiple GED devices placed on their body at one time. A staff member will keep watch on the student and carry a plastic box on their waist with a remote for that specific patient's GED device. The students are also under 24-hour video surveillance and can receive shocks long after they've committed an undesirable behavior. Many students, including Jennifer Masamba, say they were constantly suffering from fear and anxiety because they didn't know when the shock was coming or what they might do to deserve it. Masamba shared one instance where a staff member woke her from sleeping to administer a shock, which they then explained was for something she did hours ago. The GED device can also be set up to shock patients without the supervision of staff members with an automatic shock that triggers when committing an undesirable behavior. According to the Rotenberg Center, all GED devices must be approved by the parents and a judge in court before they can be used on students. There have been many reports and lawsuits brought against the school for injuries caused by the GED device. Many claim the effects of the GED on patients has not been properly researched or approved, and that most of its staff are not properly trained to handle patients with severe mental and emotional disabilities. In 2006, a 26-page report was released by the New York State Education Department on their review of the Rotenberg Center. In the report, the Education Department claimed that around 2/3 of the Rotenberg Center's staff only had high school diplomas and no previous training with special needs patients. The report also raised concerns on how and when the GED device was used on students. Former students and employees say the GED was the most common form of punishment instead of a last resort. Students could be shocked for minor misbehaviors, such as talking out loud during class, swearing, bad posture, not responding to teachers or staff within 5 seconds, and many other situations that would not be considered violent or extremely disruptive. A former employee who went on a public campaign against the school claims that he had to shock a student 4 times for getting out of his seat to give him a hug. Students are also required to wear the GED
I wouldn't
while
mind
bathing
some
in the shower, which raises
shock
many
therapy
safety concerns.
whenever I do bad
A lawyer
posture. It would fix
representing
the
the
posture
school
pretty
claimed that
fast,
students
right?
were not forced to wear the device while bathing, and that the
We have
education
shit
department's
posture, man.
report
If you're not
was
thinking
biased
about it
and filled with
actively.
untrue information. However, former student Jennifer Masamba claims that one of her arms was secured outside of the shower with the GED electrode strapped to it. Many say the school does not focus on developing positive social interaction, but instead on punishments to eliminate problem behaviors. This has brought up questions on whether aversive
I mean, it is probably effective, but you would have to you would have to want it yourself, right? It's not for someone else to decide. You know what I mean? Like, I could say, I want to, every time I slouch, there is some AI cam that just gives me an electroshock or whatever. That's fine. But I wouldn't want someone, whenever I don't know, don't wash a dish or, slouch or, many random things against my will. That's what I'm trying to say.